Most of the popular advice you get from copywriting experts right now on how to land clients is actually not good. If you follow copywriting experts and coaches in the industry today, many of them train on just two options for landing clients: cold outreach and freelancer work sites like Upwork and Fiverr. Now, can you land clients sending emails and DMs to strangers or filling out a profile on a freelance job site? Sure, but these aren't the best ways to prospect for clients. In fact, relying on these two strategies actually causes something I call the invisible man effect, which keeps you from getting yourself out there and landing clients. So we're going to talk about that, and then I'm going to reveal what I'm convinced is the best way to land clients. This strategy is going to catapult you right out of that invisible man effect so that you become a recognized expert in your field and somebody that business owners and entrepreneurs want to work with. And the crazy thing is, this strategy doesn't require cold outreach, freelancer work sites, or paid ads. It's free and anyone can do it. This YouTube channel is full of actionable and proven hacks, tips, and strategies for freelance copywriting mamas just like you. Make sure you subscribe and smash that button to get notified when my videos go live. So before I dive into that, let's break down those two common strategies that you hear all over the place, what they are and why they don't work, and not only why they don't work, but why they don't work to help you have a steady stream of clients that book calls and send referrals your way. They also keep your business and your bank account in the dark. So the first strategy that experts teach is cold outreach. Cold outreach is a strategy that involves sending emails or direct messages to complete strangers out of the blue. A lot of times you're using a script or a template, and you might personalize it a little bit, but you're basically sending the same message to a bunch of people. And it relies on the idea that it's a numbers game. If you send out enough messages, you'll eventually reach someone who wants to hire you. And I mean, technically, that's how it should work. But there's a few problems with cold outreach that numbers game just doesn't cover. For one thing, people don't like it. Prospective clients don't like being pitched by total strangers. It comes off as salesy and spammy, and there's no chance to build a relationship or create trust. And another big problem with cold outreach is deliverability. Email platforms are pretty strict about delivering email from strangers. They want their users to be happy. And they're not happy having clogged up messages in their inbox. It doesn't really make them happy, right? This means that cold outreach emails tend to end up in the spam or junk folder. And the same thing happens to DMs. They end up in the message request folder. Either way, these cold outreach messages may never get seen. And that's a lot of effort and energy expended with no results to show for it. And if you're new and you don't have a lot of testimonials or social proof, it's even harder. Now, the second strategy the experts teach is using freelancer job sites like Upwork or Fiverr. If you're not familiar with freelancer job sites, they're basically the online equivalent of a job wanted post in the classifieds. I mean, there's more to it than that, but the concept is similar. These sites give you a place to virtually hang your shingle by creating a profile with examples of what you do and who you serve. Sounds great, right? Yeah, except for the part where there are hundreds of thousands of other freelancers out there offering the same services as you, and all you get is a short profile description to try to get the attention of the people who are hiring. But that's not the only problem you'll face with freelancer job sites. You're also going to have to deal with the fact that there's always somebody out there willing to do the same job for cheaper. Don't get me wrong, this is not a criticism of people who live in other countries. They live lives where their standards of living are different. The economy they live in is different. But we have to live and work within our economy, and that means that the rates that work for someone in another culture may not sustain somebody who lives here in the US, right? And if you lower your prices and lower your prices and lower your prices so you can compete, you're going to have a really hard time making ends meet. It just doesn't make sense. And when it's a race to the bottom for pricing in order to land clients, that's not a race you want to win. Yet what other choice do you have on a platform where many business owners and entrepreneurs they come looking for cheap services, basically. And we're not at the end of the problems with these two ineffective client acquisition strategies either. There's one more side effect of relying on these two strategies that no one talks about. I mentioned it a little bit ago. I call it the invisible man effect. So when you rely on cold outreach and freelancer job sites to find clients, not only is it discouraging, slow, and a race to the bottom for pricing, you're hiding yourself away from the one thing you really need in order to create connection and relationships with prospects so you can land clients consistently. And that thing is online visibility. When you sink everything into ineffective client acquisition strategies, you ignore showing up for yourself, okay? You don't create a social presence, and you're not putting yourself out there where your ideal clients actually are. You're not letting people know what you do, who you serve, and how you get them results. In essence, you're the invisible man. Think about it. People can't hire someone they don't even know exists. The worst part is, if you're not on social media showing up with your face and your message on your social profiles, clients won't come looking for you. They're not just going to come out of the woodwork and search until they find you. How come? I mean, I wish they would, but they won't, because there's tons of other copywriters out there who are showing up on social media, and they'll be the ones landing the clients that should have been yours. Don't let that happen to you, mama. Don't give your clients over to someone else just because you have zero social media visibility. So what are you supposed to do? What can you do to avoid the invisible man effect without having to rely on cold outreach, freelancer job sites, or expensive ads? And like I said, clients are not just going to come to you. I wish that was the case. But if you're relatively new, it's just not going to happen, especially if you don't have an online presence. And that's why the cure for the invisible man is to build your own visibility engine that helps you show up, provide value, and stand out from the competition. When you begin consistently showing up where your ideal clients are already hanging out, you'll be able to draw attention to your services, and you'll start attracting your ideal clients. So where are they already hanging out? You guessed it. Social media. Like, no surprise there, right? I know what you're thinking though. No, Christa, please, not social media. Anything with social media. I'm a writer. I just want to sit behind the keyboard. I get it. I used to feel the same way, especially after I burned out hard as a social media manager. Yep, if you haven't heard me tell my story before, in the very beginning, I spent 6 months offering social media management services, which I hated, and I burned out really bad. So you can imagine just how much I wanted to spend time creating content for my own social media profiles after that. Like, no thank you, right? But listen, there's no better place to show up for yourself than social media. Now, there's several different reasons why social media is the right place to get visible in order to land clients. Now, first of all, because it's where your clients are hanging out. Now, you might be tempted to say, no, Christa, I don't think they are. I don't think they're that kind of person. I don't think my ideal clients are hanging out on social media. But have you seen the stats of social media usage lately? I have. And as of the end of 2023, current stats, there are 3 billion monthly active users on Facebook and 2.5 billion monthly active users on YouTube, 2 billion monthly active users on Instagram, and 1.2 billion monthly active users on TikTok. And the list goes on with the other social platforms. In other words, your ideal clients are on social media, but if you're not, how will they ever find you? The second reason why social media is the best place to show up consistently and prospect for clients is it's free. I mean, you can create a profile and post on that profile for free, pretty much any social media platform out there. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like free fits any budget, especially in the beginning when you don't have a bunch of money lying around for ads. Then, when you start showing up for yourself and talking about what you do, who you serve, and how you get results for them on social media, when you actually do that, you lose the invisible man effect. And that's not the only good thing that happens. You see, social media does something really interesting that will help you stand out from the competition. Social media makes you the differentiator in your business. Because you're showing up with your face and your message on your social profiles, you and your services stand out as a category of one. Because there's only one you, and the content you put out will resonate with people and attract the right kind of clients for you. People want to work with people that they know, like, and trust, and social media gives you the ability to create something called parasocial relationships. These are relationships with people you've never met in person. If you're not familiar with this, a parasocial relationship is a perceived relationship one person develops with another when they repeatedly consume their content, even though the other person is aware of it because they've never met. Don't believe me that this happens? I've had complete strangers book discoveries calls sorry, I've had complete strangers book discovery calls to talk to me about my services because they first saw me in a video I posted with my goat. At some point, that content caught their attention and was memorable and valuable enough for me to get on their radar and for them to want to know more about me and my services when the time was right. And that doesn't happen on freelancer job sites or with cold outreach. It only happens when you start showing up consistently on social media. It's time for you to become the differentiator. When you show up on your platforms with your unique voice and your message, it pushes organic, aka free, traffic to your website and booking links. You start standing out as an expert who can solve a problem, and it makes it so much easier for people to refer your services. True connection and relationship converts best. Now, you might not know this about me, but I have firsthand experience of how this works because once upon a time, I was in an MLM. That's right, I sold Jamberry nail wraps because I thought they were cool and fun and I wanted the discount. I never actually intended to sell them to other people. I was like, I'm not a salesperson. Hey. But my family heard me and my friends heard me and they saw me talking about how pretty they were and how long they lasted and they wanted some. Because they knew and liked and trusted me, they decided they liked and trusted Jamberry nails too. And that's what happens when you build your business based on social media visibility that builds connection and relationship. People grow to know, like, and trust you, so they decide that they'll like and trust your services too. You become that go-to copywriter in their sphere, and when that happens, your business and your life will be transformed. You'll be able to get referrals, land better clients, raise your rates. Where will that put you a year from now? What exactly can social media visibility do for your copywriting business? Well, you'll barely remember what it was like to wonder where your next client was coming from. When you start showing up for yourself consistently, people will get to know you as a copywriter and you'll be generating a steady stream of booked calls and client projects and getting paid to do what you love without sacrificing your family or your freedom or having to hang out on freelancer job sites and send cold DMs that nobody ever gets to see. Got it, guys? So what do you think? Are you ready to banish the invisible man effect and start standing out and showing up for yourself on social media? Give me a thumbs up if this video is helpful and drop a comment below and let me know if you're all in. And make sure to subscribe and follow this channel for more tips, strategies, and resources for freelance copywriting mamas.